Welcome, welcome. We are so excited to be here. And we are short Angelique today. She had other things to attend to. So we are going to be sitting here and speaking with our guest today. Um, here on Fempreneur True Confessions podcast. So we will miss her, but we're still going to have an exciting time with our guest. And just to quickly get started, I am Laura. I am the owner of OTA, Virtual Assistant Agency and Consulting. And we are really a business that is boutique style to help support you in your business with your needs, your strategy, the tasks you may need to get done, sometimes even to vet and yell through the insanity of what it's like to be a business owner, which is part of the reason why we're here. So, I am Laura. Angelique is also, when she is here, she's a heart centered project and event management planner. She loves supporting women and bringing them into their power. She is Lady Powerhouse, known as Lady Powerhouse, and she is really wonderful. Her presence will be missed today, so we're super excited though. But together, our mission for Angelique and I is to really empower women in business and in life to live authentically and support each other instead of the competing with each other in business. This is to model our authenticity through our business and our personal relationships to really bring that to light and in truth. We normalize the struggles of women in business, learning to be of a common goal and succeed at supporting each other. So we're really looking at the normalizing of women instead of the competition of us. We build up, bring confidence, learn to live and love together, work together, and really just help maintain that support in our sisterhood for all that we are dealing with and working with every day as women, entrepreneurs in business. So, really loving that feel. And with me today, I have Rikki Smith, who I'm super excited. I haven't gotten to talk to her for a while, so I'm all excited to hear how things are going. And Rikki was raised in a military family. So moving around the country and the world was part of life for Rikki. Meeting new people, making fast friends, embracing different cultures. There we go. Filled her with a love for adventure, travel, and connection. These experiences have given Rikki the unique ability to understand the hearts of those around her, as well as she recognizes others' fears, hopes, and dreams, and gives them a platform to be heard and understood on her YouTube channel, Faith on Friday. Definitely check it out. We'll have the links to that in there in the show notes. It is a steady source of encouragement, humor, and compassion for her audience. So I'm really excited about that too. Um, so really today, comfort zone my eye. There's nothing comfortable about starting a business. That's a very interesting statement. I really love that. Do you want to explain that a little more?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here. And I have to shout out real quick to my friend Rosemary who's watching. Hi, Rosemary. Thank you, girl.
Hey, Rosemary.
Yeah. Yeah. Comfort zone, my eye. Anyone who has wanted to start a business, started a business, gave up on the idea of starting a business, the whole nine, you understand how uncomfortable that crap really is. There are
Mhm.
people who don't understand you. There are folks who don't see your vision, your dream. You second guess yourself every day and night. You don't sleep because the ideas keep coming. And then try, yeah, there's nothing comfortable about it at all.
That feeling of like imposter syndrome, like I didn't
Yeah.
do it or I failed, which means it's not right, right? Instead
Yeah.
of
Or waiting for someone to come up behind you and go, "Excuse me, are you sure you want to do that?" And then you can say, "Yeah, no, I guess I didn't." Oh, it's horrifying. It is horrifying.
yes. Well, what made you come into that? What did you have experiences in that where support isn't always as great as it should have been or
Who doesn't? Oh my gosh, yes. when you're raised in a family or raised in a culture where owning your own business may not be something that everyone has either heard of or anyone ever does. The second you stand up and you go, I know, I'm going to step out of the mold and do something different, everybody looks at you like you've grown a second freaking head. And then they start saying, well, no one in our family has ever done this. What if it fails? So, no, you don't always have a lot of support. But if anybody who knows folks, there are people, I mean, not your family, of course, but others, I call it the yard sale mentality. So you tell your family you're going to have a yard sale, and everybody's like, I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should do that. Who's going to want your junk? But the second the money rolls in, people start going, oh, yeah, I knew you could do it the whole time. It's like
Hmm.
that. It's like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Love it. Like they like the aftermath and the hands out and oh, you really could. Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never thought. And you're going, but I had to know, like, there was something
Yeah.
inside. And I know as women in business, we were kind of taught that if you're in the comfortable, that's the problem. Like, you
Right.
have
Right.
to get in that ugly, uncomfortable,
Yeah.
nobody's ever done it world. Because
Yeah.
if you didn't, then nobody ever would. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
you're not enjoying the uncomfortable in some
Right.
form or fashion,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
where are you gonna go?
It's so funny because I tell a lot of my clients who are in the same boat, I want to start something, I don't know how, blah, 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 and all the drama that goes with, especially as women, we were taught early, don't beat the boys. Don't be faster. Don't be smarter. Make sure that you stay small. Don't take up space. Blah, blah. So when you're looking at starting your own business, you're literally having to go against all of that stuff you were told. Now you're going to have to be loud. You're going to have to step out of the comfortable. You're going to have to stand up in front of somebody. And sometimes you're going to have to beat the boys.
Yeah, all the time. Shit. You better step up and beat all the boys. Let them
Right,
deal with their
exactly.
own feelings and emotions and everything else. And
Mm-hmm.
I was taught much differently. I was um because I was raised by a single mother, and
Sure.
it was an all female household.
Mm.
Um, my mother and my sister both happen to be lesbian, so we are
Mhm.
really an all female household,
Sure. Right.
right?
Right.
And these were very strong, highly independent, all women power kind of
Mhm.
women, like
Yeah.
no joke.
Yeah.
Um, I wasn't the one that fit in. I wasn't the one that was like, let me stand behind my husband or the boys and let them feel good about themselves. I was the
Yeah.
one that was always like, my mama taught me that you ain't nothing kind of thing. Like, I can do better than you, and you step up. So it was a very different feel.
Sure.
But
And
when I
it
got to
can be.
corporate, it
So for
wasn't.
me, growing up, like I said, like you in your introduction, I grew up in the military family. So both my parents were in the military. So we moved around a lot. And
Mm,
I was one of those kids that, I went to 3 high schools. And people, that was already an issue. I was literally always new. I was always freaking new. Now you got new crew, new people, new house, new team, blah, blah, and on and on and on. So that
mm,
in and of itself lent to a lot of insecurity about things. I'm new again. How do I? So couple that with growing up, being a woman of color, girl, that's a whole nother episode. And
right.
then you got that. And then now you want to start a business? Why don't you just stick yourself in the eye? Just do that.
Exactly. If you were cards stacked against, you
Yeah.
definitely are in that world where,
Hmm.
you could either hide and curl up, or
Hmm.
you could stand out, let your voice be heard, and fight against every norm you were taught.
Yeah.
And
Well, and I
I
did both. I curled up. I did a lot of crying, did a lot of, oh my gosh, why me? Nobody likes me, all the things that went with that. And I did that. And then I found my voice. And
Mhm.
trust me, y'all, finding your voice is better,
Yes,
way better.
yes. I love that. I when I got to corporate, I found I was this high pitchy Like, even though I was loud and obnoxious, and coming from New York and said whatever because
Right.
I was free voiced, right?
Mm,
When I got to corporate, I started realizing that I would get hoarse. I would literally
mm,
have physical problems with
mm-hmm.
my throat and my neck and always
Right.
coughing and just kind of feeling sickly in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it wasn't until within the last maybe 2 years, 2.5 years, that I realized it was because
Mm-hmm.
I was silencing myself.
Oh, sure.
All these years when I finally hit corporate, I had curled up into somebody that my mom probably wasn't so proud of. But um, it, realizing that, like, I things that affected me physically because I chose to make that change and
Yeah.
not be authentically who I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, I'm not made for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Oh, yeah.
you that don't get to enjoy me because I can be a lot of fun. My
And
weirdness
that's
is
it. And you have to find, you literally have to find yourself. I told my kids growing up, you better know who you are when you leave this house, because otherwise they will name you. And you may not
Mhm,
like what they call you. And that was something I learned, coming out, being a people pleaser. Ugh, that is so incredibly exhausting. But I didn't know
mhm,
that because it was my life for such a really
mhm,
long time. And then when it stopped being my life, I liked it better. And like you said, I wasn't then the flavor for everybody.
mhm.
I get it. Not everybody likes Rocky Road. Not everybody likes, Very Berry Strawberry. But guess what? Those that do, those are my people. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Finding your tribe is like the
Yeah,
best feeling ever. Like,
it
this is
is.
where I fit in. And this, they embrace
Yeah.
the weirdness or they embrace the difference,
Yeah.
and it's all okay because
And it's okay. And they give you opportunity to be, as what they say, let your freak flag fly. They,
yeah.
they give you that opportunity, and they find you where you are, and you can be
Yeah.
you. And it's such a more comfortable place. But growing up too, you learn to code switch. Now, I don't know if you or your audience understand that, because a lot of us as women of color, we do this. You will hear, anybody ever watch Medea? Do you remember
Oh, I
Medea?
love Medea.
Okay. Medea code switches. She does it badly, but it's hilarious. You know how she says hello when she gets on the phone?
Yes.
That is her code switching. So you learn to be who you are with your people, and then you
Mhm,
learn to be who they need to be when you need to be out there. So yeah, you
mhm,
code switch all the time. Like with you, Laura, we've chatted before. I'm pretty much like this all the time, girl. You already know. But
mhm,
then too, there are times, like you said, corporate, you're in another group of people. You're around folks who may not necessarily be your tribe, but you still
mhm.
have to learn to be authentically self in a teaspoonful so they can take it, versus the gallon fire hose that you usually are. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a thing.
I love my full gallon hose at you kind of feel. You and as like you said, you and I have talked, and I was
Hmm.
raised much differently
Yeah,
than a lot of people. And I understand the code switching because I have lived it with my family and where I
sure.
lived and what I saw and experienced as a child growing up. And
Right.
so I've lived in a much different world than what,
Hmm.
most
Sure.
have.
Hmm.
Um, and that is wonderful. I praise my mother every day for that because she
Yay, the
made
mommies.
incredible
Woo!
decisions when it comes to that.
That's awesome.
Um, and was able to teach us that opportunity of accepting the world and who they are.
Yeah.
Whether that led to me accepting me fully who I was, and not
Hmm.
being too much of this because I was here or too much of that because I was there
Yeah.
or
Hmm.
whatever.
It's a
Learning to
balancing
read
act.
that line. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Do you talk about a need to win, the ups and downs, and you discussed it a little bit that where don't you don't want to win, let the boys win kind of thing, but now you're feeling of you need to win and what that
Hmm.
really looked like for you
Hmm.
when you figured that out, where it wasn't about worrying about how the boys felt and how the public had taught you or how
Hmm.
you'd been taught in family, but what that really meant to you, that your
Yeah.
need to win.
And then winning changes.
Mhm,
Growing up when you're a kid, winning means beating someone. You're out front, I'm first, I win. When you become your authentic self, the real who you are comfortable being and comfortable with other people seeing, girl, that is a win. When you
Mhm.
can wake up and you're okay with your crown being a little crooked, or you know what? Guess what? You won again. If you found your group of people, winning takes on a different meaning. And when you're in a business, when you are a business owner, winning basically means, okay, great. I talked to 2 people today. I had down 10, but I talked to 2. Girl, you better take that win. You better get in where you fit in. So winning changes, and you find out it's not about beating anyone. And I tell my clients, the same 3 things: Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's. They all sell a freaking hamburger, and ain't
Right.
nobody been out of business yet, which
Yeah.
means there is somebody out there for you. You can still win when the field looks crowded. It's not just
Mhm.
about you being out front, being on top. No, it's about you doing that thing that is in you, that makes you, that creates you. Girl, that is the win. And I, again, telling people in business, as women business owners, we were taught, some people were taught and grew up with that women can't be friends, because we're always competing against each other. We all know that's a big fat lie. Big fat lie. And
Yeah.
I tell my women friends a couple of things here. You know what? There are enough men, money, and shoes. You don't have to fight for any of it. And then, girl, come on now. So if
Yeah.
you're out there on Black Friday fighting over a pair of shoes, girl, go sit down. There is enough out there for everybody. You don't have to fight for it. And then there are women's organizations where no one's competing. I belong to a phenomenal networking group called Polka Dot Powerhouse. If you're not familiar with it, hit me up. I will hook you up. It is amazing. It is a bunch of women entrepreneurs, high powered rock star women who ain't hurting nobody and who want you to succeed as well. It's out there. Winning has a different meaning when you grow into who you are.
Absolutely. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to join a lot of women's groups
Mm-hmm.
because I really want that encouragement. And we love our men. Now I know we
No
discussed
one's
it.
bashing the brothers.
We love our men and
Nobody.
we know that you support us.
Mm-hmm.
But this is really about, our lives are much different.
There.
Men have been, they don't have to be finding power and finding their voice, and they just kind of naturally get heard. They're always part of the discussion. There's just a lot more to that when
Yeah.
it comes to things. It's like, for some reason, there's a better trust. um they're not negotiated to their very end because they're sitting down or whatever. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
man says it and people are like, okay, whatever, that's a rule, right? But
Yeah.
women have to explain who they are and prove their worth and do this, and it
But
becomes
that's
so much.
changing. Yeah, it is changing. People are changing differently. It is
Mhm.
happening in a different view. But again, it comes it comes at a cost and at a price.
It does. And we're looked at a certain ways. I recently just experienced a conversation with a gentleman, and it was, well, how do I know
Mm-hmm.
that you're worth what you say you are?
Ooh, to me, that,
Because
what that says? To me, that is like, the rich guy that walks into the car dealership and says, "How much is that car?" And the guy tells him, "If you have to ask, you can't afford it." And now that's just me. Baby,
Mhm.
don't ask me. Don't ask me. Don't, that's wow. I don't know how I feel about that right now, girl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not proving a thing. Like, it is, you're either gonna take me for what it is, you're gonna find a way to find out,
And either way is
through working with
okay.
me, or
Yeah.
you can go about, and you
Mm-hmm.
can trust whatever guy it is you're gonna go to after me, have
Exactly.
that same discussion, and I'm fine with that as well. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm past and beyond. If you've seen my experience is this long in corporate. This is what I
Right.
did. And this is,
Mm-hmm.
we've had this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not good
Mm-hmm.
enough,
Right.
then it's good enough for me, because I'm enough.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go figure out why you don't believe in and trust it. And maybe it's
Exactly.
you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. But you got to know the you better than anybody else. Because if someone asks you what your worth is, and you have to take a breath to figure it out, you're not ready.
Yeah.
Some conversations you need to have with yourself before you get there.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
tell yourself you're phenomenal. Let yourself know that you are worth every dime you're about to get, because your services, your products are phenomenal. They're different. They're amazing. You need to know the you first and know
Yeah.
what you're offering, so that if someone asks you these questions, because they will come, because people will test you.
Yeah.
Know your answers. Know your answers. You know. So, and that's important. That is important to do already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, whoever's there.
Oh, that's my husband yelling at me. Yeah, it's a live show, honey. So anyway, that's why live. What can you
Yeah,
do?
we embrace it. We love it. We know
Right,
it's part of life. Like
right.
Angelique talks a lot on this show about kind of the BS of work-life balance. Like there's
And
no
that's
such
hard.
thing. Life is life. And there's no such thing as like work-life balance. Why are we separating those things? And I believe full-heartedly the same thing. Like
Right.
I'm living life.
Mm-hmm.
And in this life of living, I'm balancing everything that goes into it.
Sure.
Like I'm bringing it
Exactly.
all in, embracing
Mm-hmm.
it all
Mm-hmm. Right.
in. Where things lie, they lie. They just,
And
there
that's where
is
they're gonna go.
balance.
Work-life balance, again, is another thing that it's hard when you have a family, if when you have your own business, when you're doing different things. Work-life balance and you have to put boundaries on and in, and it can be tough,
Mm-hmm.
depending on your family dynamic. It can be
Mm-hmm.
tough because not everybody in your family will see your vision. They won't understand why you're still up, why you're still on the phone, why you're still doing stuff, and that can cause some issues and concerns, but you got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Your business and
Absolutely.
your dream is worth it.
Right. Exactly. And I love
Mm-hmm.
that because,
Mm-hmm.
it's my husband I know is highly supportive.
Mm.
And we've had many discussions. There's been plenty of late nights where,
Yeah,
he's gone to bed and I'm still up
exactly.
and there's a trust factor there that obviously comes into play, as
Mm-hmm.
well as the idea of this won't be forever.
Right.
This is for right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you consider when I was working in corporate, the hours I was putting in
Sure.
for a non-benefit to us as a family,
Exactly.
it's just the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's yes, I got paid a paycheck, but
Yeah.
whether I put in this many hours or this many hours, the paycheck was the paycheck.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
this here for us, every extra effort I make
Mm-hmm.
is for a bigger
Right.
role of our
Mm-hmm.
future. And he's
Mm-hmm.
been so highly supportive of that because
Right. And
being
not
in
everybody
business
has
was
that. Yeah.
discussed. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
it can be tough. It can be really
Mhm.
hard. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I see here you wrote down terrible twos and other
Mm-hmm.
negative BS or
Yeah.
beliefs.
But yeah, I like BS because that's what it is. Yeah, the
Mhm.
terrible twos. I'm too old. I'm too this. I don't have this, this, and that, and the other. Those
Mhm.
twos that you tell yourself. I'm too broke. I'm too this. I'm too whatever. And the other negative BS is the negative belief systems that you've either told yourself or that you worn because someone told you. And so there it is. Now you believe I'm not smart enough. Now you believe I don't have enough money. Now you believe nobody's going to want me. Those terrible twos and that other negative BS, it will stop you in your tracks. And
Yeah.
then you end up with the worst thing ever, regret.
Mhm.
Because then you sit back wondering, what could I have done if I didn't feel like this? What could I have done if I hadn't told myself blah, blah, blah? Get rid of the terrible twos. Surround yourself with people that will support you. Get around people who say, yes, you can. Just because I didn't do it doesn't mean you can't,
Mhm.
and find a safe place. My biggest thing is sometimes as a business owner, you are by yourself a lot of the times.
Mhm.
And you don't always have the support system you wish you had. And you need to find a safe place to cry, to vent, to hurt, to scream, and to throw something so that when you come back, you can get it together. And
Yeah.
but it's those terrible twos. When you hear them, you have to counter them. One of the things I tell my clients is this: name the thing that you hear in your head. because it's easier to address something when it has a name. So when you hear that voice in your, whether it's your mom, your spouse, yourself, give it a name so that you can, when you hear it, you can tell it, okay, Kwee, knock it off. I can't talk to you right now,
Mm-hmm.
because you're dealing with now a tangible thing. It has a name. It's not just some random thought in your head. Give it a name, y'all. Mine's name is Kwee for real, because mine is a ghetto hood rat in my head.
Yeah.
And she sounds like the girl, you can't do that. Can't nobody want you. She's that. So I have to tell her, stop talking. I can't listen to you. I can't do you right now, boo. I got
Mm-hmm.
something else to do. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. That is absolutely, and the mindset of that is,
Mm-hmm.
when if you continuously are on that path of what you can't do, then you can't.
Sure.
There's a reality there,
Mm-hmm.
and there's things you hear as a child or through whatever your belief system is.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot that goes in that same way where it's telling
Right.
you, what
Mm-hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking is what you're
Right.
becoming, and it
Right.
really, the
It'll stop you.
reality of that
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, and I acknowledge it. Okay, yes, if the thought came in. Yes, I hear you.
Right.
Um, but I'm still gonna. I think I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna go ahead
Exactly.
on the path I was on. My heart is being led where it's being led. This is what I feel is best for me, and I appreciate you trying to protect me. My mind kicks in and wants to protect me, but I'm gonna go ahead and go full force with what my heart says. And
Mm-hmm.
if I fail,
Mm-hmm.
and when I fail, because you will have
Oh,
failures.
failing's coming. Keep going.
Yeah,
Failing's coming.
right. So when that and if that happens or in that moment or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I won't feel as hard because I'm gonna get right back up. And the next one's gonna come. And I'll get right back up. And
Over
as
and
you
over.
fix it, you brush yourself off, you see what happened, you learn from it, you take accountability for what part is yours, and you
Mm-hmm.
move forward. Like,
That's it. That's all you
because
can do.
any woman has who've been like, I've never failed. It's always been fantastic. It's all shiny rainbows and yay. Like, for real, I don't need to be your friend. I'm really sorry because you would drive me crazy with that.
Yeah.
Yes, like,
Yeah. Because things have happened in your life, Um, how many times did you throw in the towel? How many times did you quit? How many times did you rethink your life choices and think, screw it, I'm going to go be a truck driver? We've all had that, and if you haven't had that, you're not being honest. And because you're not being honest, you're not helping anyone. You're not
mhm,
relatable. I love the fact that I have failed and will continue to fail because I keep living.
mhm,
As a speaker, you get booed off your stage, you get heckled, it happens. It
yeah,
happens, but it's not so much that it does happen. It's about what do you do when it happens. Oh, trust me, I wanted to run, girl. I wanted to run and scream and hide the pain of it. When you get embarrassed, you feel that heat rise up, and oh my gosh, and you're like, oh my God, they're looking at me. Everybody sees me. Everyone knows that I suck in this area. But
mhm,
it's not so much that they know. It's, for me, in that case, it was the one person who came and said, it wasn't that bad.
yeah,
And I think of it now, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember I was just going to cry the whole way home. But you don't. You're like, okay, well, maybe I was harder on myself than they were. I thought it was horrifying. Somebody said it wasn't that bad. Okay, you hear two things. It was that bad, and it
mhm,
wasn't that bad. So I'm going with okay, it wasn't that bad. You
yeah,
know, it's like that guy that asks you out, and you're like, there's no chance, Hades, and there's like, wait, I still have a chance. That's, yeah, glass
yeah.
half full, people, glass half full.
Absolutely. Fill it
Yeah,
back. Like,
that's right. Hmm.
we had Angelique and I were both part of a certification program with Kathy Gugner, and we had mentioned her last week in our podcast. And
Hmm.
um, her her idea, I'm even wearing the shirt where one woman can do, another can do.
Right.
Like,
Okay, I
that
love
was
that.
always her thing,
Hmm.
and she builds us up in that way, and that remembrance of things. And being part of that group and knowing, and she teaches us about having the power partners. We
Mm-hmm.
might be in the same area. I mean, Angelique and I run in the same circles when it comes to who we service, um, kind of how we service, and I have looked up to Angelique for a long time.
Sure.
um and we've guided each other sometimes
Mm-hmm.
or more, but there's those moments where it's like, oh, I need to cry, or
Yeah.
you won't believe what just happened, and she turns it around for me very quickly. But
Mm-hmm.
before, it might be a longer meltdown moment, before I can get back into the right headspace and just be like, nope, that door closed, let
Yeah.
another two, three, four open.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
just
right.
be okay with what's happened. Like, take a deep breath. It is a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Your confidence might waver a
Mm-hmm.
bit, but
Mm-hmm.
just know that this was meant. This was your journey. It's part of it. Just keep pushing forward. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Um, and I love that power partner feel, because
Mm-hmm.
even though you're in those same areas, we are women, we are more so here for each other to
Mm-hmm.
get through it and celebrate our wins with each other
Yeah.
than tear each other down and be
Yeah.
like, well, you just deal with it by yourself and be alone. And I love my husband, my family's supportive, but
Mm-hmm.
doesn't understand what it is to be a woman or what goes on these calls. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, how frustrated I can be because I've been tore down about what I do, what
Everything.
my worth is, and what's going
Yeah.
on. And
Yeah.
they're looking at what's the outcome, and how much did you do to get whatever you got, where I'm looking at, oh God, I did so much today, and I'm already beating myself up in
Yeah.
some way because it
Yeah, we're
didn't.
the worst. We are the worst critics of self. And I love what you said, getting with other women, finding those folks that you can look up to. That's why I was like, find your people, because you have to have a safe place to be fully girl. And sometimes being fully girl means taking off your eyelashes and just crying it out, sis. Cry it out.
Yeah,
But you got to
yeah.
have a safe place to do that. Because, like you said, everyone
Mhm,
can't understand. But
mhm.
you also can't do that with everyone. It's
Right.
important to build that trust. And social media, girl, does not help. Because like you said, people love their highlight reels. I'm in the Bahamas. I'm in the wherever. Oh, yeah, you got your butt whooped last night too. And your business is failing. And your last client, you know what I mean? But you don't
Mhm,
get to see all of that. So it makes us feel bad. Oh, I'm not doing my part. I'm not doing really well because look how good they are doing.
mhm.
And then we fall headlong into that comparison trap. And it's a
Ugh,
trap. It's a lie, y'all. It is a lie. Don't
it
compare
is.
yourself to anybody. And I learned this the hard way. Like I said, don't ask me how I know, just trust me. Do not compare yourself. Don't do it. It is
Yeah.
a lie. Nobody's
Mhm,
business is better or worse than yours. No one's doing it better or worse than you. It's only just different. That's
yeah.
all. It's just different. But
Mhm.
your flavor is the flavor that folks are looking for. Don't compare. Oh gosh. Don't
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't do it.
Is a horrible trap, and I absolutely love that, because
Mm.
I think that's the first thing we turn to, is that comparison piece. Like,
Yeah.
let me learn from them. So you get a lot of people like, I can teach you. Well, why did that not work for me? Or I could do this for you, and then it doesn't work for you, and you're like, why am I the one it's not working for? Well, because you're not the only one. There's
Right.
only 1%, maybe two or three, but let's just really get real of who that actually works for.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
rest of us, the struggle is much different.
Yeah.
And
And if you're
yay,
trying to be someone else, you're not
mhm,
going to win. You're not going to win being someone else. You're just not going
mhm,
to happen. I own a corporate training company. There are hundreds of corporate training companies. I
yeah,
can't do it like them. I can't do it like her. I can't do it like him. I can only do it like me. You've heard the term in sales, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. If
mhm,
who you are is actually being someone else, they don't know you. How can they like you? And who do they trust? If you're being someone else, you're not being you.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? Stop. Be
Yeah.
you. They will want you the way
Mm-hmm.
you do it. And there again is another win. Take the win, y'all. Be authentically you. It's the
Yeah.
best person to be. And it's far less frustrating to be
Mm-hmm.
you than it is to try to be someone else. Again, don't ask me how I know. Just trust me.
I love that because it's true. Like, I think we all say yes, we're grateful for, right? But we don't consider the true level of gratitude. Like, explaining to my son recently, like, even if it's if it's the penny on the street that you find, or it's be grateful for it, or it's the conversation that you had and it didn't go the way that you wanted, but you still had a win out and be grateful for it. Like, the more you find gratitude and gratefulness, even in the negative, it will appear more so, more and more and more
Sure.
than what it was initially. Like,
Yeah,
you
but it takes
really
practice too, especially if you didn't come from that. I'm by nature a very positive person. I just am.
Mhm.
It's just the core of me. But if you're not that or haven't been that or have never been around that, it takes time and practice because your first instinct is to go back to what you've always known.
Yeah.
Always. No matter what it is. If you burnt the chicken and you start hearing the negative BS, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. You can't even make anything right. That is where that comes from. If I burn the chicken, I'm like, shoot, 2 words, DoorDash, whatever,
You're better than me. I'll be like, eat it anyway. And be grateful for it. Like,
Circumstances, girl. It's all circumstantial, but it
yeah.
depends on where you are. But if you're not that, you do need to practice it. You need to
Mhm.
have, I love accountability partners. Here it is. It's like this. When you're losing weight, again, don't ask me how I know, just trust me. So you're losing weight again for the 500th time on Monday, because we always start our diets on a Monday.
Right.
We do them by ourselves and they fail constantly. And
Mhm.
science tells you if you do anything with someone, the chances of success go up incrementally. So you're losing weight. It's Monday again. So you've started your next new fad diet. This time, though, you tell someone, hey, I'm going to work on this and I'm not going to eat, a whole Snickers anymore or two. I'm not judging. So the person that sees you eating that Snickers thing, what do? My tribe, they come up to you and go, "Was, why are you eating that? I thought you said you weren't." And then you're like, "Oh crap, that's right, I did." But when you have accountability partners in your business, in your life, you will find it so much easier to do the hard things because you don't feel alone and lonely and by yourself. Somebody says, "Hey girl, I got you.
Mhm.
You're okay. We can do this together." we
Yeah.
we got this. And again, if you're part of my tribe, I appreciate y'all so much.
Absolutely. I love her tribe too.
Yes, that's right.
And that's how we've always been, as well as ours. Like, I am not a yes woman to my
Hmm.
friend. I will call you out on your shit. Um, and I love you to death, but I'm not going to tell you you're right when you're not right. I'm
Yeah,
not going to blow smoke. I'm going to give you that reality check like we were talking about last week, and I'm going to rip that band-aid off, and you're going to really be angry with me. And we can choose not to talk again. Or you could understand it's for your best
yeah.
benefit to hear the
Hmm.
reality and my point of view if you're asking.
Hmm.
Um, then for me to walk around and tell you, yes, you're always right, and this is yay great, and we surround ourselves with everybody who agrees with us on everything, that doesn't make any sense.
Mm-mm. No, it's a hot mess.
Love having people that will contradict me
Yeah,
and be willing to step up, because I'm not the easiest person, but that will be like, be mad if you want to, but I'm going to tell you right now,
yeah,
you are wrong. You're dead
yeah.
wrong.
I call those people my shut up friends. And
Hmm.
we all need either you have a shut up friend or you are one. And it sounds like you are the shut up friend. So yay you. And shut up friends are the ones who, because in your head, robbing
Mhm.
a bank sounds like the best idea. And you
Yeah.
can figure it out in your head. You're like, we can
Mhm.
do this. We can, but as soon as it comes out of your mouth, your shut
Mhm.
up friend is the one who's going to tell you, have you lost your freaking mind?
Right.
Do you hear yourself? And you're like, well, for a second, I thought, yeah, never mind.
Right.
You need to have a shut up friend, because those yes friends will yes you all the way to jail, yes you all the way into bankruptcy, yes you all the way to divorce court. That's
Mhm.
not what you need. Like you said, you need somebody to rip that band-aid off. You need that shut up friend to tell you you are crazy. That is the
Mhm.
worst idea on the planet. But
Yeah.
like I was telling you, in the networking group that I'm in called Polka Dot Powerhouse, they have this faction of it called Diamonds, and they tell you this: have you considered?
Mm.
And that simple phrase can
Mhm.
turn you around. Have you considered? Again, my tribe, they're not the have you considered. They're the shut up, girl, you have lost your mind people. But
Mhm.
giving you another idea, making you look at another perspective, making you see it in a different way, making you go down an avenue that you didn't even know was there.
Yeah.
You need those shut up friends. And I love that. I don't know who said it. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah. I
You can't
love that.
grow like that. You cannot grow like that. If everyone is kowtowing and curtsying to you, I promise you, you're not growing. You're
Yeah.
in that comfort zone. Yeah.
Well, and that shut up friend, as you say, is not, they're not lacking support. So if I
Mm-mm.
think people put them in that same category as they don't support me.
Mm,
And it's
mm-hmm.
always the reminder of, it's not that I don't support you,
Mm-hmm.
but there are moments where a reality check is necessary. You're 100% going to make whatever decision you make.
That's right.
It's my job to point out what might not work about that,
Yeah.
or why I definitely see it as wrong.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I lack support in what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. It
Mm-hmm.
means I see a bigger picture. And so I think there's a confusion there sometimes. Like, well, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't support me. And so they get rid of those friends.
Yeah.
Well, it's
See,
not.
I think that's a mistake. But then too, Laura, I was thinking, when you're picking your friends, I pick your friends, y'all. Just don't accept friends that drop in your lap. If we picked our friends as carefully as we picked our pair of shoes and the bag that goes together, we would have better, stronger, longer lasting friendships. But instead, we end up with these friends. Oh, we've been friends since I was in high school. Well, what are you guys doing together? Nothing. Where is this person going? In your same direction? No, they're completely opposite. Okay, help me understand. So when you're picking your tribe, your friends, your crew, and you're looking at your shut up friends, there are so many people you need to know that you can trust, so that when your shut up friend shows up that tells you that you have lost your freaking mind, you know that they love you, they care
Mhm.
about you, and they have your best interest at heart, and of course they support you. So that way you're not looking to get rid of them. It's easier to receive what they're telling you because you picked them. They didn't
Mhm.
fall into your lap.
I love that. Absolutely. Because that makes complete sense to me. It really does. Like,
Yeah, me too.
you know where they're coming from with it.
Exactly.
Rosemary's with us. I was looking over here in the chat.
Yay.
She said, I'm in the presence of royalty. I'm so glad to see you today, Rikki. So in love. Love it. And she said that Polka Dot Powerhouse is phenomenal. So
Yes, she is
I
one
will
of my polka dot sisters.
oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So I will definitely grab that information from you and throw that
Okay,
in the
Dev.
show notes as well so that the ladies can look into it for sure.
Perfect.
Um, we always need places to be, the support and again, finding your place, finding where you
Yeah.
belong, and just knowing
Yeah.
is a wonderful feeling. So I am really loving this, and I so enjoyed our conversation. I know it ran a little bit long. I'm sorry. I've never said I'm not the talker, so uh, but I really love what you're doing, and I
Thank
so
you.
appreciate you coming on. So what Rikki does have a freebie, and she's written a book and she's got her podcast. You need to check it out. We'll make sure we'll link to it. Um, but what I'll do is I'll add her email in and you can reach out to her and talk with her. She's got a free 30-minute discussion on any of your training needs that you may have, how she can help if you're a company that needs that. Um, and how you can move forward, even if it's working with her and what that looks like for you.
Sure.
Definitely want to get her book. So we'll make sure we list all that out in the show notes for everyone, and how to really reach out to her. Rikki's pretty amazing. We've stayed connected. We met on the line one of those.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to connect? Let's connect. And we've gone back and forth and we've talked and yeah, I definitely, you're a good person to have in my tribe. I love
Thanks,
you.
girl.
And if anybody, again, if you want to reach out, please definitely, we are trying to build up LinkedIn right now. So we would love if you go in and like us and follow us on LinkedIn so we can also do this live there. It'll feed there once we hit a certain point. So, and in true form of supporting other women in business, we've asked Rikki to introduce who our next week's guest is going to be. And she has so graciously agreed.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like I said, my motto, if I win, we win. So next week, you're going to meet Lisa Heitzelman. She is an expert facilitator with a focus on achieving success through lifelong learning and continuous quality improvement. She celebrates her passion of being a passion of business success with consulting on focusing on efficiency, effectiveness, and productivity, while coaching individuals and teams by facilitating workshops and success processes to ultimately optimize your success. So make sure you stay tuned next week for Ms. Lisa Heitzelman. Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you, everyone. We so enjoy having you here. Fempreneur True Confessions is loving you guys. Next week, Angelique will be here and we'll be able to give her crap and she'll explain. It's a very interesting story. It'll probably be funny. So we'll love this. But definitely. And any questions, please just continue to put them in. We will answer them on Facebook and on YouTube. And come join us. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.